Hey horror freaks, welcome back to Movie Man, the channel where we explain fake horror movies that feel a little too real. And today's movie is the most deranged road trip since natural born killers met my strange addiction. This one's called The Strange Darling, a rural Oregon bloodbath that asks, what if your one night stand turned into a deathmatch with a discount Clarice Starling and a coked up Buffalo Bill? Let's break it down. Our story kicks off in Hood River County, Oregon, basically Twin Peaks if the coffee came with a side of fentanyl. We meet our unnamed protagonist, known only as the Lady, which is already suspicious. Nobody cool introduces themselves as the Lady. That's either a Bond villain or your aunt's MLM handle. She meets a stranger at a dive bar who is giving off major Netflix docuseries about to drop vibes. She calls him the Demon, which is how you know their meet cute ends in homicide. But first, motel sex. Before they rent the room, the Lady delivers a monologue about the dangers women face during hookups. You know, the whole, I'm not saying you're a serial killer, but blink once if you're into knife play, kind of speech. She makes him swear he's not a killer, and he agrees, classic horror movie mistake. Rule number 3. If they have Demon in their nickname, you say good night and goodbye. Then she suggests they role-play a sadomasochistic murder fantasy. Because nothing says healthy coping mechanisms like pretending to be a corpse before foreplay. Several hours later, they're both high on cocaine and red flags. Just when Demon thinks it's sexy time, the Lady doses him with something called teaming, which sounds like either a new energy drink or what they call orgies in cults. Turns out, she's the Electric Lady, a serial killer with a body count higher than the Wrong Turn franchise. She carves her initials into his chest, which is a romantic way to say, I'm not emotionally available. Then she rifles through his stuff, and bada bing bada badge, he's a cop. Demon wakes up just in time to shoot her ear off. She responds by stabbing the motel clerk and stealing a car, because when you're having a bad night, may as well speedrun a felony. He gives chase in his truck, because of course he drives a truck. He shoots at her car, she crashes, and stumbles into the woods like she just walked off the set of the Blair Witch Project, Meth Edition. The Lady finds a farmhouse owned by two apocalypse-loving hippies, Frederick and Genevieve, who look like they survived Y2K but never emotionally recovered from it. Frederick tries calling the cops, so she kills him, naturally. Genevieve barely escapes. But now the Demon arrives with a rifle and the emotional trauma of 1,000 Tinder dates. Eventually, he finds her hiding in a chest freezer, which is equal parts clever and something I hope isn't method acting. He shoots her, handcuffs her, and calls his buddy Sheriff Pete and Deputy Gale, which sound like they moonlight as a folk band. While cuffed to a freezer and bleeding out, the Lady monologues about Gary Gilmore, because nothing gets a girl going like famous executions. She also says she felt real love during their role play. Real love. During fake murder. This is why therapy costs so much. She sprays Demon with bear mace, bites open his neck like it's Red Lobster night, and kills him. Just when we thought she was caught, plot twist. When Pete and Gale show up, they find her half naked and playing victim like it's the finals of the Victim Olympics. She claims the Demon kidnapped her, tried to kill her, and that she barely escaped. Pete is Seuss, but Gale, bless her dumb little heart, insists she needs medical care. Classic, first act Scream Deputy, energy. They drive her toward town, but Genevieve, remember her, shows up to tell the truth. The Lady shoots her before she can finish a sentence. Brutal. She hijacks the cops at gunpoint, kicks Gale out, and keeps Pete for philosophical car banter. Pete asks, why do you kill? And she hits him with the coldest line of the movie. Sometimes I don't see humans, just devils. Which, like, same, but I still pay rent instead of stabbing people. Then she shoots Pete in the head like she's applying for John Wick 5, Oregon Drift. Lady stumbles onto the road and is picked up by a random woman in a truck, Oregon's final boss. When Lady tries to pull her gun, truck Lady pulls faster. Shoots her. Calls the cops. Drives her to the hospital. And as the Lady bleeds out in the passenger seat, we get the quietest, coldest death scene since No Country for Old Men if it was directed by Rob Zombie on a sugar crash. So that's The Stang Darling, a movie where love is toxic, sex is deadly, and nobody walks away clean, except Truck Lady. She deserves a spin-off. Or a food truck. The Electric Burrito. With themes of gendered violence, false identity, and what happens when two serial killers date, it's like Gone Girl meets The Devil's Rejects, but with a splash of bear spray. Would I survive this movie? Hell no. I'd be the motel clerk, dead in 15 minutes. But that's it for this breakdown. Like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what fake horror movie should we cover next? And remember, if she calls herself the lady, she's not a lady. Stay creepy, you weirdos.